One. Welcome back, everyone, to hour 2 of the All Ball podcast. So we're gonna be starting off with some NBA, predicting the top 5 players in the NBA in 5 years. I haven't made a list of this yet, so this will be interesting. We'll see how it
I'm
goes.
just gonna go off the rip ski myself.
All right.
So number 1, you got.
This is pretty easy for me. This is number 1.
I'm gonna guess. Well, is he white?
No.
Not white.
Although that is a good one. That's probably my number 2.
So who are you thinking?
Giannis.
Okay. So we'll go. I'll put your list first here.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Because he's probably the best player in the league right now. Arguably. And he's still really young. So he's only going to be getting better at shooting.
If anything, he's gonna be in his prime in 5 years, or
Right,
at least
exactly.
still. I'm not even
Exactly.
gonna try to.
Spell his last name? Yeah, it's fine. Then yeah, Luka's my second.
Okay.
You do your first 2. I got to think about the third one.
Very similar to yours. I just have them flipped. So I have Luka number 1, just because I think he's like more gifted offensively. Like he's not as dominant in the paint as Giannis is, but he's a much better ball handler, better distributor, obviously a better shooter. The only thing that he doesn't have over Giannis is size and defense. So he really doesn't give that much on the defensive end. But we've looked at it over like the decade. LeBron, ever since really leaving Miami, hasn't been the best defender in the world. KD, besides like as of recent, hasn't been that great of a defender. Harden's been elite over the last decade. Curry's been elite over the last decade, and all of them are not really like given defenders. So I think it's not as important as it is just to have an all well-rounded, offensive mastermind where you can also still. He could give some on the defensive end. He just chooses not to. And then I have Giannis after that. Kind of like you said. I mean, all around, he might be the best player in the NBA right now. The only thing he really doesn't have in his arsenal is three-point shooting, and his free throws are pretty inconsistent.
Right.
But I think those 2 guys are the clear, in a way, number 1 and 2 guys. So number 3, do you have anything, or should I go?
Yeah, I got one that might surprise some people. I got Nikola Jokic. Same age as Giannis. Reigning MVP. Playing at an MVP level again this season. He's a big man that really does it all. Like, he does it all. He passes well. He shoots okay for a big man. He's got really good down around the rim, really good finishing. So, yeah, I got Nikola Jokic as my number 3 because he's the same age as Giannis.
Okay. So I have at my number 3 spot, I'm going to go Ja, just because I think that the more you have the ball in your hands in this league, the more impactful you are, especially the winning championships. So that's a good reason to pick Jokic, because really he's like, obviously not the point guard, but he's kind of like the distributor of that Nuggets team. He has the ball in his hands quite a bit. And so I could get behind that Jokic pick. But I just think that the point guard position is so much more influential in deciding games that I'm going to go with who I predict is probably going to be the best point guard in the league in 5 years. He's looking like he might be the best this year, especially after Steph's taken a step back. So I'm going to go Ja at number 3.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of torn over this because I have 4 guys. Four guys I'm looking at still. So before I make let me tell you, I'm looking at Embiid, who's again 27, the same age as Giannis and Jokic. I'm looking at Devin Booker, who's
Good
25
one.
still. I'm looking at Jason Tatum, who's 24, and I'm looking at Ja, who is
These are all good ones.
so. Those are the four I'm looking. Ja's 22, and I got 2 spots left. So I think with my number 4, this is hard. I
Do it.
I gotta go. No, stop. Not Trae Young. I
Just
gotta
saying, we're gonna
go
come back to this in 5 years. And
Devin
react.
Booker.
Okay, I can respect it. It's
Just because he shoots, he's the best shooter out of those. Shooting historically ages very well. Again, he's a point guard, like you said. He's very athletic, not as athletic as Ja Morant. I just don't think his style of play lasts well. We've historically seen guys who play like him: Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook, John Wall. Guys like that burn hot for a couple years, and then they burn out relatively quickly because their body's just small guards that are extremely athletic and take a lot of pounding around the rim. Historically, doesn't last that long. So I have to go Devin Booker with my number 4.
okay. So I'm gonna go who I think is the best big man in the league right now. Especially this year, he's probably gonna win the MVP. I'm gonna go with Joel Embiid. He's just all around, just really opening his game scoring wise. Where he's a great center 3-point shooter. For a big man, he's a really good shooter. He does shoot it at volume, which might inflate his numbers slightly. But you look at the fact as well, he's one of the best rebounders in the league. He's been in talks over the last couple of seasons of that defensive player of the year, consideration as well. So he's great at stopping you in the paint. The only thing is that he doesn't have the court vision and passing, ability that Jokic has.
Right.
But on the flip side, Jokic doesn't have his defensive ability. And when you're looking at your center, I think it's easier to find a point guard that can help pass the ball, or just like, I don't want to say point guard, but another player that can space the floor and pass the ball. Then you can find a guy that's just elite at stopping, people from scoring at the rim. Especially because a lot of them guys aren't really gifted offensively. So like Rudy Gobert, I don't know, Dwight Howard, Miles Turner. I mean, all these guys are really good at stopping interior scoring, but they just kind of lack on offense a little bit, I guess. And so I think that's just a really good combination, especially when it's the best player on your team. So I'm going to go with Embiid. Joel Embiid.
Number 5.
I have one that
I'm going to have to give it to Embiid because he's just so he's the most dominant low post player we've seen, physically dominant, probably since Shaq. He's so physically dominant. And I mean, you just said a lot about Embiid, so obviously, he's a great player. I have a hard time, and I know I left out Ja, who you got at number 3. But I just, historically, it just doesn't last.
it's
And if we're looking down the line, and also very close is Jason Tatum. He's another very close.
Yeah, I've always been kind of a doubter on Jason Tatum, but he's finally putting together an all-around good season. He just has these games where he just doesn't show up.
And again, he's only
Jaylen
24.
Brown has to fill, but he's really coming out this year as that top guy in Boston. That if they were going to split the two, they're probably definitely going to stick with Tatum at this point, I would think, over Brown. Get him a good point guard to rely on to maybe run the offense, or get him a good big man to dump the ball off to. But either way, Jason Tatum, you look at it, just completely out-dueled KD.
No,
and yes, KD just came back from injury, but
here's what you got to look at. He's 24 right now. Steph Curry wasn't really good. He was good, but he wasn't really good until about 6 years ago when he was 27.
2015, I think. 2016, 2015.
So 6, 7 years ago when he was 26, 27, that's when he really like hit MVP form.
Right.
Jason Tatum has already shown flashes of hitting MVP form. He's 24.
Right. Especially because like Boston, they're really good at putting rosters together, but they've been really chaotic over the last couple seasons with Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie, and now Brad Stevens is gone. So he's really been the only thing. Like he kind of matches their inconsistency, which might not, be his doing. It's just how it is. You evolve to your environment, right?
Dude.
So
yeah.
So I could see it.
People want to be so impatient with basketball players. Like, so impatient. Like, NFL guys don't come out till they're 22, 23, 24. You know what I mean? Like, they're not coming out till the earliest they're 22.
Yeah, a lot
Jason
of these
Tatum
guys
has been playing in the league for 5 years already. And he's 24. Joe Burrow didn't play a snap of the NFL football till he was 24. You know?
Yeah.
Like, they're still kids, bro. And I get basketball's a lot less physical of a game. Still.
Yeah. No people in this draft are really kind of sticking out to you as the next face of the league, huh? Evan Mobley is kind of their best player, but I don't think he's really dynamic enough to be like the best center in the league at some point.
Like I said, it's so hard to tell. Like, first overall picks are not guaranteed successes. Look at Zion. Like, when Zion's been on the court.
I was gonna mention
when Zion's been on the court, he's been absolutely electric. Like, when he's been on the court, he's been incredible. But he just hasn't played.
I was debating on putting Zion in my top 5, but you can't, with the unknowingness of what he's, got playing physically and with his health.
This is his 3rd season, isn't it?
Yeah, he missed like almost all of his first season. Last year he had a good season, but he still missed quite a bit of time.
He's averaging like 27 points a game and shooting like 70%. Because everything was dunks and layups. Like, he was incredible. But just hold the Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. You look at he played in 2019 season.
And back to Joel Embiid. The only reason I put him at 5 and not at like 3 above Jokic and Booker is just because he has had an injury history, whereas the other guys I have on this list do not. Like, Giannis really hasn't ever been injured. Luka's really never been injured. Jokic, I mean, here and there, but not really. And Devin Booker hasn't had a ton of injury history either. And he's a shooting guard, not a big man. So
right. That's a really good pick, that Devin Booker. That kind of threw me off when you said that. I didn't even consider him in my top 5, but that was a good one.
He's probably already, people underrate him, but he's probably already a top 5 scorer. Maybe not top 5, but he's on the edge.
He's one of the best. You need a bucket, he gets it. And he's very clutch too. He's very
top 5
clutch.
scores.
He's very Kobe-esque.
Yes. Well, he was mentored by Kobe and trained with Kobe for a while. So, top 5 scores, go.
Oh my God.
Right now,
all around, or that you just need a bucket. Like, you need a bucket, or they can get you any shot.
Score any shot.
Okay, because that kind of throws like Giannis as an example out for me. Just because like he could get you a bucket in the paint, but like he can't spot up if you need a 3. So just all around score. So number 1,
Katie
for sure. I would say number 2 is probably because they need size, speed.
No. So I'm like including. I guess. Sorry, let me rephrase. I guess it is like get a bucket. I guess not like get a bucket on any given possession, but just like guys that are the best at putting the ball in the hoop, not necessarily like shooting down low, like just anything.
So I'm gonna say number 2 for me is Luka. Can basically get any shot he wants. Great finisher, great shooter. Number 3. Oh man, this is really.
I'd go Curry, just because he can still shoot the lights out of it.
I'm thinking that, but like,
he can still shoot the lights out of it. He's one of the best finishers around the rim. Like, yeah, he's been in a little bit of a slump recently.
You could say Kyrie is a better scorer than Curry.
I disagree because Kyrie doesn't shoot it like Curry does.
He's up there.
Yeah, he is, but so is James Harden.
Right, and you could Harden.
But Curry's the greatest.
I would put Harden at 3.
Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. He has to be in the top 5 scoring.
I would put Harden at 3. I think, bro.
Harden's are free throws, dude. That doesn't count. Getting a foul doesn't count.
You just need the score.
Maybe Dame?
I mean, he's in the same boat as Curry.
Embiid?
Embiid, maybe.
Embiid can basically score whenever he wants. Used to be LeBron. It's not LeBron anymore.
Not consistently.
No. I would say Anthony Davis if he ever played a game in his life. Devin Booker's got to be up there. Oh, I guess that was the whole point of this. Like, he's got to be up there. Good slasher.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about that question. I would say
Russell Westbrook, probably.
I would say the top 3 is KD, Luka, Harden.
I would put Curry above Luka and Harden, I think. And I'd put Embiid above Curry.
So bad as of recent. I don't know why. He's been so bad.
What are you going to do? He was lights out to begin the year.
He's not anymore.
Okay, you don't think he's going to bounce back?
Maybe not. Maybe he's injured. We don't know.
But he is injured. No, he is. But
so what if he can't bounce back?
Bounce back. Get healthy. Bouncing back works. Getting over injured.
Okay, so Devin Booker is up there as a scorer.
Yeah, okay. That was a long way to say that Devin Booker is a good scorer.
Okay, we want to maybe talk about Speaking of Westbrick now.
Talk about another this guy. Okay,
he's very Aaron Rodgers-esque.
I was just gonna. Yes, that's exactly what I was leading into. It's a guy who reminds me of Aaron Rodgers, but the difference between him and Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers is actually good. like Aaron Rodgers backs it up. Like Aaron Rodgers is really as much as I hate him, the dude is really good at football. Russell Westbrook is no longer good at basketball. What was it you that said? Somebody said, if Russell Westbrook and Ben Simmons switched playing styles, you would have a great basketball player.
That wasn't me, I don't think.
Somebody, if you gave Ben Simmons Russell Westbrook confidence, imagine how good he would be.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook, Ben Simmons confidence. You know how much better that'd be for the Lakers? No, not even. If you gave Russell Westbrook, Ben Simmons, his eagerness to play, I think that would be better for the Lakers. I think that would be better in the long run for the Lakers.
That is so accurate. No, but I loved when Russell Westbrook said he was. That's so funny. He was like, I can't even bring my kids to games anymore because they're like, why are they calling my daddy names? Calling him Westbrick. It's ruining my family's legacy. Well, then maybe stop being awful. Maybe.
I spelled Giannis's name right, by the way. No errors. I think that's a dub.
Imagine, dude, if one of us played in the NBA and they called you Sugar Brick,
Yeah, no shit.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Well, dude, it's just, you want to know why? It's because literally the reason everybody's so mad at Russell Westbrook is because of the expectations. Not just people have put on him, but that he's given himself. He's an MVP in the league. That doesn't happen to everybody. He's getting paid 40 plus mil a year. That doesn't happen to everybody. He's been given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to make good on good rosters that he hasn't been able to capitalize on. His play style is not sustainable. It's not efficient. He's not a great teammate when it just comes to taking a step back when he needs to be. And the fact that he's already told like a lot of people in the Lakers, surrounding the Lakers, that like, you can't bench me. You're not going to bench me. Well, then you're going to get hate like a shitty starter would if you're playing bad. And guess what? He's playing bad. So
it's just like
dude, it's not Washington anymore, bro. You're
and if he didn't have okay, John Wall is this, like, you could argue John Wall and Russell Westbrook are like the same thing. Like, they're both way overpaid. They can't shoot, super athletic, but like they can't get it done.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever hear from John Wall. You don't hear from him.
Just because he doesn't have the expectations.
Right. But also John Wall doesn't like you don't hear him going on social media complaining all the time. You're Westbrook. And honestly, part of this is LeBron's fault. Let's be just honest about it. Like, not many people cared when Russell Westbrook was jacking up threes and missing them, but dragging OKC to the playoffs, right? Not many people really cared when he was playing awful in Washington and they like missed the playoffs. Like, nobody cared. But LeBron brought you to the Lakers to be the piece that gets him over the top, and that was realistically never going to happen, and everyone knew it, apparently except LeBron. So part of this is LeBron's fault. But you just like you can't ask to be the star and then complain when you perform badly as the star.
There you go. Exactly. And when you accept $45 million a year contracts.
Well, like, I don't fault him for that.
Well,
but
dude,
that's what. Then you can't complain.
But no, that's the downside of it. Is you're expected to play $45 million worth, because like the difference between. Okay, the difference. How much do you think he's worth right now as an NBA player? Like, I think what he gives you.
What is
he gives you a lot of stats in a very inefficient ways. And so I would say I kind of agree, like a good sixth man pay. So that's probably about $15 million a year.
15 to 20 million.
Okay. The gap between $45 million a year and let's just be generous and say 20 is a lot more than Chandler Parsons, for example, making $30 million a year, playing like a $10 million a year. It's the same gap, but the expectations are completely different.
Like, who are you going to take right now? Russell Westbrook, or would you rather have like somebody like a JJ Redick or a Seth Curry?
You would take Seth Curry over Westbrook in a heartbeat.
Somebody like shoot, or even like, so let's take another example. Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball was a guy who came in with huge expectations, ended up couldn't really shoot, but he still gives you high energy, plays defense really well, is an unselfish player, and he's going to distribute the ball well, right? Nobody complains
he's better than Westbrook right now.
Right. And nobody complains about Lonzo Ball anymore.
Yep.
Nobody complains about him anymore.
Well, the thing is, he came with this, because I'm looking at Lonzo here, he came in as the second overall pick in the draft to, again, the Lakers, a stout franchise that has high expectations, and he didn't perform. He didn't perform as they wanted him to. So, he gets passed around to a couple different teams. He found a good place in Chicago where I think the play style fits him. He's making a decent amount of money. And, his identity and what people are looking for him to do on the basketball court is completely changed. And so in turn, a lot of people perceive him differently. He's not the same
Right.
You know, he's not the same guy he was when he was the second overall pick.
Right.
And I guess that just comes with time. So maybe in a couple years, if Westbrook continues to play like this, it'll just kind of be whatever, and people will stop complaining about it. But you know,
But
the thing
you
is,
can't complain about it. Nobody made him do this. Like, and yeah, it stinks. Like, I'm sure it sucks when you have high expectations and you just can't play well. Like, I'm sure that sucks. Like, and I would feel for him if he wasn't always complaining about it. Like, just keep your head down,
and fix
get
it.
in the gym, and either figure it out or accept your new role, right? Like, you got to do one of those two things. And take your money, guy, and sit down and just exist.
Right. A lot of this, I feel
Nobody
like
wants you out of the
he's-
NBA.
He's in his own
Nobody-
head. A lot of it is, I feel like he's in his own head. And so if he was to just look away from social media, look away from the media, you know, not worry about the fans, and just try to do everything he can to either get better or just help the team out in the best way he possibly can, it would just completely solve everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And
Yeah.
he's always been like stubborn. I think, you know, especially for an NBA player, stubborn. I think, whereas he doesn't want to change his play style and adjust to the new NBA. And that might just be because he can't. I don't know. A lot of people like physically just can't have a consistent jump shot. Just
Right. Like, he probably
structure
can.
is.
He probably.
But, dude, like,
And don't shoot so much.
exactly. There you go. If you're not a great shooter, don't be jacking
No.
up threes consistently. You know, like,
Right.
play around your
Exactly.
play style. There you go.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, I agree with that.
Okay. There we go. That's good. Where did... Do you want to talk about that MMA fight?
Oh, yeah. So, big fight over the weekend. UFC, I think it was 272, UFC 272, headlined by Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal. Not sure how familiar our audience is with these two fighters. Colby Covington, been in the UFC for a while. He's always been a solid fighter, but recently he's gained a lot of popularity with some controversial opinions. He was very pro-Trump, so that kind of drew him attention. Kind of relabeled himself as a villain in some aspects, which is, you know, it's fight game, so that helps a lot. But very solid fighter. Overall record 17-3, fighting his former best friend Jorge Masvidal. Now Jorge Masvidal's been in the UFC for a long time. He's fought people like Ben Askren, Nate Diaz. Yeah, Jorge Masvidal, probably the second biggest draw in the UFC next to Conor McGregor.
He's had a lot of matches, bro.
Yeah.
He's like over 50. I'm pretty sure it's over 50.
Yeah, he's 35-16. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He holds the record for the fastest knockout in UFC history. I think it was under 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Threw a flying knee to the head of Ben Askren. Anyway, so this was a non-title fight. I think Colby Covington is the #1 challenger right now to the belt. Kamaru Usman, who
he's already beat him a couple times.
He's beat both of these fighters twice. He's beat Masvidal and Covington twice each.
Right.
So a lot of people expected Jorge Masvidal as a real stand-up like fighter, like kickboxing, stuff like that. He's very efficient with his hands, throws solid kicks. Colby Covington usually fights the same way. He's pretty stand-up, but he's also very good at wrestling historically. Hasn't really used it. So a lot of people were expecting this to be a stand-up brawl. Everybody was wondering, is Covington finally going to bring out his wrestling? And yeah, he did. And it worked very well.
I think this is huge for his his future, as well as because now you don't really know what to expect or what to plan for coming from a competitor
Right.
side of it. Uh, so this potential, Usman Covington 3 it might shape out a little bit differently. I like Colby Covington just because he's taking like he's got like that Trey Young Conor McGregor thing where like they just don't give a crap about what people say. They're just gonna go out there, handle their business, get as much attention as they can, and try and back it up to the best of their ability. So I really like that from his standpoint. Obviously, he's very conservative in his political beliefs, and he's kind of stated that. So that's where I think a lot of people get turned off on him. Which, if you don't agree with him, you're not gonna like him. Which makes sense. But just back to the fighting aspect.
Dude, it
going
was
power
so
for
funny.
power, punch for punch, bro, he's not going to beat Usman. So I think this is huge for.
It was so funny into the lead up to the fight. So apparently, Colby Covington is now with Jorge Masvidal's ex-wife, which technically I don't think they're divorced yet. But he was just talking. Jorge Masvidal was like, "Bro, you're sleeping on my couch." And Covington was like, "Mate, this is 2022. I'm sleeping on your wife's couch, mate." It's like, that's her couch. I'm sleeping on your wife's. It was just really funny. um. Anyway, it was very funny. So Covington had a huge advantage in total strikes. He threw 338 total strikes to Jorge Masvidal's 166. He landed 218 strikes to Masvidal's 90. He landed 94 significant strikes out of 201 to Masvidal's 67 out of 140. He had 6 takedowns. Masvidal had none. He totally controlled him on the ground. He almost had him up out of there in the last 30 seconds. Like, he almost had him up out of there a couple times. The first time, he almost had him. He had a neck crank, almost turned it into a rear naked choke. He was very close to sinking that thing in. Then he almost had a guillotine that he just couldn't quite lock in. And then in the last 2 seconds of the fight, he finally got in a full mount and fired off like 5 punches right to his face before the bell came. So had the fight gone on 3 seconds longer, the ref might have pulled him off. Like, he finally got into a good position. Yeah, completely dominated by Covington. He controlled him on the ground the entire time they were on the ground. Yeah. On the ground, he had 25 significant strikes on the ground to Masvidal's 0. So, if that shows you anything. 25 significant strikes.
And this might be just because Jorge Masvidal's kind of like, he's getting pretty old.
Yeah, I don't know how old he is, actually.
Got to be close to 40, I would think.
Want to Google that? Hold on, I got it.
Either way, Colby Covington, I think, has the youth advantage, so he was like quite a bit quicker. But just like, I don't know, it's always interesting to watch. And you look at it, Colby Covington outside of Kamaru Usman is 17-1. That's pretty good.
Covington's 34, Masvidal's 37.
He is 34. So
yeah, because Covington hasn't come on until later.
Right.
Masvidal's been doing it for a while.
But
I want to check out the score because I know it was a unanimous decision, and I know it wasn't close, but I just want to check the score.
Well, Covington doubled him in everything.
Yeah.
He didn't allow a single takedown either.
No. Well, no. Masvidal was never gonna wrestle him. Come on, show me the scorecard. Here it is. Dude. Okay, here's a scorecard. Holy. Okay, so it was. Wait, no, this isn't it. I'm gonna say that's way too close. Hold on, here, I'll find it. The Nurmagomedov. Hey, does Khabib have a brother?
Yeah.
Umar?
I think he's I don't know if he's a welterweight or featherweight or I don't know what he is though.
Is it Umar Nurmagomedov?
Couldn't tell you. I know that he trains with him. He trains with.
Dude, where is this card? Oh, it's probably at the bottom. Okay. So the one judge had it. Oh my gosh, yeah. 49-46 Covington, 50-44 Covington, 50-45 Covington. So.
And I picked his behind.
One judge had Masvidal winning
closest?
one round. The other two had every round for Covington. So yeah, he didn't
What was
win
the
a
closest, Judge?
round. 49-46.
Okay.
And he had the second round going Masvidal's way. So, yeah. Overall, a good fight. Yeah, the UFC is exciting right now. I mean, it's just like people want to be living in the past of like Conor McGregor, and I get that because Conor McGregor was electric. But like, there's a lot of good fighters still. Like you got Covington, you still got Masvidal in here, you still got Izzy. Yeah, Izzy's electric. You got Hattie the Batty coming up. You have what's his name? Heavyweight is still the champion. What the heck is his name? Beat Stipe. Come on. Come on. Francis Ngannou. That's what I was thinking. Francis Ngannou. So, that's who Khabib is training. Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev.
Did you say Poirier, bro?
Poirier. Jeez, Gaethje. A lot of good fighters.
A lot of people.
Oh, I like this. This is the complete. Oh wait, no, that's heavyweight. I want to see the pound for pound rankings. Pound for pound rankings. Kamaru Usman is the number one pound for pound. Izzy. Alexander Volkanovski. He's that Polish guy, right?
I think so.
I think so.
I guess Khabib's brother's name is Muhammad, by the way. Unless he has another brother.
Okay. Charles Oliveira. Man, I almost forgot about Oliveira. That guy's a killer, dude. Oliveira is a killer. Max Holloway is still fighting. John Jones, but he's not fighting anymore. Dustin Poirier. Glover Teixeira. I think Stipe is probably done. Man. I don't know. I don't know why. But I didn't even see Dustin Poirier on here. Oh, wait. They have him in. Oh, no, never mind. Poirier is number 8. They have him at. Pound for pound. He fights at lightweight, right? Yeah. So, oh my gosh. Look at this. Look at the top the top 4 for the lightweight division. Dude, I love the lightweight division. That is always so electric. Look at this. So the champion right now is Charles Oliveira. Then you got Gaethje. Then you got Poirier. Then you got the guy Khabib is training, Islam Makhachev. Then at number 5, you got Chandler. Number 7, you still got Tony Ferguson. Dan Hooker's still up there. Gillespie at number 9. McGregor. Man. Electric. Anyway. That was a lot of UFC.
Not bad. Have any comments about the Britney Griner situation? Or are you not super?
Yeah, it's whack. I've seen that. I don't know. That's gonna be weird.
I don't know how that works. I feel
I
like
don't
the
know.
trial's definitely gonna get gonna get delayed for quite a while, I would imagine.
Yeah, for those that haven't heard, Britney Griner is an American WNBA player. She is currently imprisoned in Russia, facing prison time of 10 years, or I think she had cannabis oil vape cartridge.
Yeah.
Is what I heard. I think. I don't know.
That's extreme.
Especially with tensions escalating between the U.S. and Russia. Doubt that'll be an easy negotiation. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, not super relevant. But hey, bro, when you go to another country, everybody, you definitely have to get a. Okay, well, first let me say, why is she going there right now anyway?
Playing basketball. Basketball. I don't know, dude. I have no idea.
Either way, you have to definitely take a look at,
there's some places you don't go.
Laws
and there's some places in American you just don't go. Right? It's pretty obvious. You don't go to North Korea. You don't go to Russia. You don't go to Iran. And I would be highly on edge of going to China. Just look out. Also, I wouldn't go to Iraq or Afghanistan. Or Syria, probably.
India. Go to India.
India?
Go to India. The place sucks.
Anyway.
Honestly, Asia just sucks. All of Asia is just garbage.
I feel like that could get us in trouble.
Michael.
I don't know. All right. We'll wrap it up here. Might have to edit that out. That's the Okay. That's the episode for this Tuesday. Given that it all works out, we should be back on Thursday. I have an exam, so we'll see. If not, we probably can fit it on Friday. Probably. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. But make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We also, as always, are on YouTube. So go over there and subscribe to our channel. Give us a like on Spotify and iTunes. Giving us a subscribing and giving us a rating really helps. Especially a 5-star rating and a review. That all helps for the algorithm to get us out there. If you're liking our show, tell your friends about it. Leighton, any last comments?
Pakistan is also on that list. Don't go there.
All right. We'll see ya hopefully on Thursday.
You weren't a fan of that?